Hi, it's Alexis. I don't usually do a lot of videos about communication because it really depends on everyone's case, but in this video I will explain some principles on how you should communicate with your ex if he's an avoidant attachment style. I'll explain everything of what you should be saying, how you should behave, and if actually you can get back with someone like this after the jingle.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So as I said, I don't usually share any content, a lot of content on communication because it depends on your situation. Your ex is unique, your relationship is unique, you are unique. And in that case, it's really hard for me to provide you tips on your thing. It's really about being specific. It's a bit like watching video about how to be less anxious. Of course, we can get the sense of how to be less anxious, how to work on your depression or stuff like that. But I don't know anyone who fought anxiety, who treated anxiety, who were not depressed just by watching video. It's really personal. And in a way, communication is very personal. So see those tips as very much guidelines that you have to adapt to yourself. The idea is if you have any questions or anything you want to ask me, don't hesitate. There's a link in the description to get in touch with me. I spend most of my time helping people communicating with their ex. I have coaching on WhatsApp, and the idea is most of my clients, if not all my clients, they know those tips, but it's really hard to apply them. It's very specific, and also the idea is to really, in a way, be sure of what you say and not say. So make it yours, but be mindful that it's very generic. Still relevant, but generic. Their world is different. That's the first thing you have to understand. They're avoidant, maybe you're anxious, maybe you're secure, but in any case, their world is different. The way they see information is different. The way they communicate is different. The same sentence will be interpreted in a very different way. And so, usually, avoidant people, they're not comfortable with emotion. They suppress those emotions. And therefore, what happens is also they take more time to trust. An anxious person will, and I'm exaggerating, but an anxious person will fall in love in one day. It's like, yeah, he or she's the love of my life. We're going to have kids and stuff like that. And an avoidant person will be like, okay, let's see how it goes. I'm not so comfortable with that. And so they take more time. The good news is that you don't have to be perfect. It's better if you are. And if you are, email me. I'm interested to meet someone who's perfect. But you need to adapt your communication. So it's a slight change you have to make, not about yourself, but mostly about how you communicate. And that's why I decided to do this video, is because in a way, it's kind of easy. So what you have to do is to stop that cycle of anxious avoidant. Even if you're secured, you can display some anxious attachment style behavior. It's basically an avoidant partner gets uncomfortable and pulls back. Okay, maybe that's the case of your ex. He said, I want more distance. And your reaction is the partner does something to get attention. They complain, they pick a fight. Further discomfort is created. Avoidant partner is irritated by the situation. And so he will going to pull back again. Anxious partner, more anxiety and more anxiety. Avoidant partner needs some space, maybe breaking up, resulting in no contact. And again, the partner unwillingly compromise to need to fix the problem and stuff like that. So if you create that cycle within the relationship, and the thing is, usually after a breakup, it's even worse. People who are anxious after the breakup, they're even more anxious. People who are avoidant after the breakup, they're even more avoidant because they need that space even more than before. So be mindful of that circle, that vicious circle that you have probably triggered, that, and not maybe because of them, because of you. It doesn't really matter who started it. There's this circle going on. You have to break this cycle. You have to stop, if you're doing it, amplifying that circle. So that's why we do no contact. That's why we no contact radio silence. That's why we give them that space, especially with avoidant people. Their need is a need of space. So the must not, spamming their inbox, the we need to talk, Avoidant people, when we say we need to talk, they hate it. Remember we discussed about how we perceive communication and words in a different way. An anxious person would be very comfortable with I need to talk, I need to express my feelings, I need to tell you how I feel. For an avoidant person, this I need to talk is so overwhelming. It's just like, oh my God, it's gonna be a drama. Oh my God, it's gonna be conflict. Oh my God, I don't want this, okay? Big plans, especially when you're in a relationship, but things about, what should we do in 6 months? What should we do in a year? About a house, about our commitment. It's really, really overwhelming for people who are avoidant. Planning too far in the future, seeking validation, something that they hate. Judging them, I know you more than you do. Anything that will put them at threat in a way, being too close emotionally will make them scared. Okay, so it's really make screenshot of this slide and make sure that whenever you communicate with your ex, you're avoiding those stuff. I'm going to put the must do afterwards. The must: respect the distance. They've asked for some space, respect the distance, and I know how you feel. You feel that you want that connection, you want to get close to them, you want to get answers. Right now, that's not what they want. Align your needs with their needs. One step at a time, and I know, again, anxious people, they want to do something big. They want to have amazing dates, they want to have projects, they want to have big plans for the future. If you want to get back with an avoidant person, realize and understand that it's really step by step that you're going to regain their trust, that you're going to create that safe environment for them. If you go too big, they're going to be scared. They'll be like, whoa, 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 that's too much for me. I don't want this. So, you get them little by little, step by step. This is how you can attract an avoidant back. Be a bit challenging. If it's too easy as well for an avoidant partner, then it means like, I'm bored anyway. So there's a bit of being aloof, in a way, being a bit challenging. So work on that. I think a lot of people who are anxious, in a way, they make it too easy to be in a relationship with them. Have your own hobbies, your own friends. Try to remove that dependency that you have with them, because again, it will feel very overwhelming that you're doing the same things, that you have the same group of friends. If they want that space, it's not that they don't love you. That's the thing you have to understand. If they need that space, it doesn't mean that they don't love you. It's really different. It's just that they have that need of space. And the last thing you have to do is to work at being more secure. If you want to break that cycle, you have to be less anxious. You have to be more avoidant in a way, to behave a little bit like them so they don't feel threatened. They feel understood in a way. So it's very important for you to work at being more secure. A final warning, and before I do the final warning, hold on. If you want to be more secure, if you want to have some tips and some help, don't hesitate. There's a link in the description for you to book a call with me or get into our WhatsApp groups. And also, before I finish the video, don't forget to press on the like button or click or subscribe to the video. It does help me a lot to get the videos published and referenced and pushed on YouTube. Now the final warning. I want you to be happy. That's my job. If you get back with your ex, that's great. But at the end of the day, what I want you to is to be happy. So being in a relationship is ideal. If you could choose, if you had to choose a new partner, I would advise you to find someone who is secure. Okay? Be sure that you're not chasing for the wrong reasons. Again, really assess that with a therapist, with a counselor, whether you're not obsessed for the wrong reason. It's very easy to be obsessed with someone we loved, and it's fine, and I've been in your shoes, and it's normal. But it's very important for you to, in 10 years' time, looking back at, was I chasing real love or chasing just a situation? Maybe I was just chasing the breadcrumbs that he was or she was leaving me in the relationship. The thing is, what I really want you to acknowledge is you can only solve 50% of the equation. If you're anxious and your partner is avoidant and you're working at being more secured, if they don't do the job, it's going to be very hard for you to not only get back with them, but have a successful relationship. So it's longer. That's the thing also you have to be mindful. It's longer to get with an avoidant, to get an avoidant back. Because they will basically, as we say, it's baby step by baby step. So it really, really takes a lot of time. And so you have to be prepared for you to, in a way, get back with your ex, but in sort of course of weeks and months, versus anxious, sometimes it's easier to convince them. It depends on cases, it depends if you're male, female, your age, the past relationship and stuff like that. Again, if you have any other specific questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.